All right, we're back with translating functions. We've already started with the introduction and we introduced it by translating quadratics. This time I want to introduce translating, it's the same idea but a different type of function. And we're going to do the absolute value function. All right, there's nothing super fancy about that. Translating still means moving the vertex. In fact, let me write that. When you translate functions, you just need to move the vertex. That's that point at the bottom, that maximum or minimum point. All right. There's this basic function called the absolute value function. So if I typed in Desmos, which is something that you might want to get used to using, I can type in the absolute value of x, and it gives me this function. That's the absolute value function. It's a V. It's a V shape. All right. Now, just like I did before, let's see what happens when on the inside I do something. Before, when I put something in here, it moved it left or right. Let's see, if I do -1, let's compare that vertex again. Right now, the vertex is at 0, 0. When I put in a -1, it moves it over to the right one. I'm at 1, 0. Now, with that in mind, I'm imagining that if I do +1, it's going to move it to the left one, and it does. So again, when it's on the inside of the parentheses, or the absolute value mark in this case, even though it's not, the computer doesn't show the absolute value markings. If it's on the inside, again, you move it left or right, just like you did here. When it's on the inside, like the H, you move left or right. It's going to be the same thing for the absolute value. Let's see what happens if on the outside of the absolute value, I say add 1. If I add 1, look at that, the vertex moved up 1, right? Again, the vertex was at 0, 0, but when I added 1, it moved it up 1. And as you might imagine, if I subtract 1, it's going to move it down 1. All right, so the rules for translating absolute value functions will be basically the same for translating quadratics. The shape of the function is different. The quadratics looks like a U. The absolute value looks like a V. All right, so you're still going to move them up or down, left or right, and the same idea will be true. I'm going to give you the basic general function for an absolute value function. So f of x, that's the function. There's absolute value mark, x. If you take something away from it on the inside, that's going to move it left or right, and then you can add some stuff here, make it go up or down. Again, h makes it go left or right. Looks like someone's going to come and get me here in a second. K moves it up or down. And again, like in last time, I didn't do it, but I will in a second. If I put a number on the outside and it is a positive number, you're going to get a V that goes upwards. If that number out there is a negative number, you're going to get a V that goes downwards. And let's just take a quick look at that over here. Whatever it is, if I put a negative right there, it goes down. If it's positive, it goes up. Negative, it goes down. Positive, it goes up. I'm just showing you that by way of a function over here. Okay? So if I ask you to sketch something, I'm really asking you to give me the graph itself, right? Or give me the vertex and then sketch it. Let me see if I have an example or time for an example here. If I asked you to sketch the function f of x is equal to negative absolute value of x plus 2 and then -1, I want you to quickly draw one of these. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You should start at 0, 0. Now, inside it says +2. If you remember, it's actually the opposite. So you might think to move to the right 2. Remember, the inside is left or right, right? The inside is left or right. So I'm going to move it. It's actually the opposite right here. So whatever this is the opposite of what you think. Since that's a +2, you move to the left 2. But you don't actually put the point there because you also have to go down 1. So you go down 1 from there. There's your new vertex. Now I want to just draw a V here, but I need to pay attention because should my V go upwards or downwards? Let me dismiss that. Well, according to this negative right here, it needs to go downwards. So I just need you to sketch a V with arrows